Today I'm going to talk about my favorite game mechanism in Adrenaline. Adrenaline is a first-person shooter Euro game, which sounds weird, but it somehow works. I had a blast playing it the other day, and one of the really cool things about Adrenaline that I'm going to talk about is that in many games when you have direct conflict and combat, the games can result in players getting picked on because they're weaker. And Adrenaline does a really good job of balancing this in a few different ways. And one of the easiest ways is that in Adrenaline, you fight constantly and you die a lot, and you kind of fight whoever's nearby and whoever you can do the most damage to. Those are all like kind of the base level decisions. It's just part of the game, which I love. I love when a game is about combat, so you know going into it, hey, we're going to fight each other, and if you're not into that, you can leave. But it does some really cool Euro kind of area control mechanisms to make combat really balanced in terms of who you go after, so that one player doesn't feel picked on. When you deal damage to someone, to like kill someone, you need to and kill. I use loosely, like you're damaging them and they're going to respawn on the board. There's not death. There's not gore or anything like that in this game. When you deal damage to someone, you put one of your little blood tokens. Every player has a bunch of blood tokens in their player color. So you'll take one or more of your little damage tokens and you'll put it on the other player's player mat to show that you were the one that damaged them. And there's an area control aspect of this that triggers when a player is killed for the first time or any time. So that area control thing is that when someone is killed, you look at the number of blood tokens from all the different players that are on their player mat. So if I am killed by you and your friend, we'll look at the number of tokens from you, the amount of damage that you dealt to me, and the amount of damage that your friend dealt to me. Say you did 5 and your friend did 4, you would get more points because you have the area control there. You have more points. Also, the player who actually completed the kill gets to put their damage tokens or their player tokens on a separate area control section of the board that's just for kills. This balance is really, really interesting. So, and you're going to have to visualize it. I wish I had the game to show you here. But basically, like, say you deal 3 damage to me really early on. What that does is it kind of makes you back off from damaging me more, from doing more damage to me, because you, especially in a larger group game, because you already feel like you have an edge up on the other players in terms of area control. And another part of this is not just the number of tokens you have, but if there's a tie, the player who did damage earlier breaks the tie. So if you're like the first player to deal 3 damage to me, or any damage to me, you have an edge up on all the other players. So that might be a good time for you to spread the love and deal some damage to other players. Another part of it is you never want to give someone else a kill, because the kill is really good. It's really good to get that. So if you've already dealt, like, say 3, 4, 5 damage to me, you might stop completely until you can take me over the top and actually kill my character. Because you don't want to keep on, if you keep on picking on me, then you're going to get me closer to being killed by someone else, which is the last thing that you want to do in this game. The other aspect is that as you deal damage to someone, and this is the namesake of the game, their adrenaline kicks in and their actions that they can take get stronger. So if I've accumulated 5 or 7 damage tokens on my player mat, I'm going to be the most efficient I can be in the game because I have all this adrenaline surging through me, and my actions get stronger. So there's a balance there too, where if you're dealing a lot of damage to one player, they're actually getting better at the game. They're going to be better at dealing damage to you and to the other players. So this is a wonderful push and pull. I'm sure it took a ton of testing, which I really, really admire, to get this right. And this push and pull of the area control, where once you secure that you don't really want to deal more damage because you don't want to give someone else the kill, or you want to be prepping yourself so that you can be the one to give someone the kill, or to kill someone. And the idea that you're making other players stronger as you deal damage to them. This really results in players dealing damage to a wide variety. Like, you're trying to deal damage to everybody at the right time and to get in on the area control to get the kills. It's a beautiful balance. And it's at this point it's one of those games where whenever someone is looking for a game with more combat, like if they play Scythe and they say, "Hey, I wish Scythe had more combat," for a long time I've said play Kemet. I'm adding adrenaline to that list. If you want player interaction that feels good, that feels fair and balanced, while still being very satisfied and has those zero elements, adrenaline is fantastic at that. So I'd love to hear your thoughts about adrenaline in the comments, or if you have another game with a lot of direct interaction and combat that finds ways to encourage players not to just pick on the weakest player. I'd love to hear about that in the comments. Thanks.